Hey guys, I hope that I'm live right now. If you guys are able to listen me properly, as well as there's no issues with the audio or the video, please let me know. Hello everyone, I hope that I'm live right now. If you guys are able to listen me properly, as well as there's no issues with the audio or the video, please let me know. Hey guys, hello. How are you guys? Is everybody fine? Good? Everything is great? Okay, how was your day, guys? How was your day? Was your day good, great, amazing, awesome? What's the scenario? How was your day, guys? Was your day good, great, awesome? What's the scenario, guys? Not a good day in Chennai. Whoa, what happened? Not a good day in Chennai. What happened, guys? Raining holidays. Okay. It's full of water, no electricity. I'm very sorry to hear that. The climate is very bad. Oh, I'm very sorry. Flood in Chennai. Okay, I had no idea. Actually, I don't watch a lot of news nowadays, so I have no idea about that. I hope so. Everything gets fine right over there. Uh, no issues in that. Okay, crocodiles are in road. That's really really different from what I've heard about Chennai. Okay, but guys, make sure that you are all safe. Okay, that is the most important thing. And nevertheless, try to focus upon your studies a little bit more. Okay, I know a lot of things happen all the time. There might be some weather conditions, maybe a college conditions, maybe something happening at home as well. There will always be some kind of problem, but try to make sure that you guys are focused upon your studies, and I hope so everything gets better in Chennai. Okay, so that's really what I'm hoping for. So yesterday I gave you guys a small assignment to see. Did you guys do that? Like we were trying to push our current repository from the local repository to GitHub. Were you guys able to find a particular solution for that? SSH keys. Make sure SSH keys are set up correctly or update get remove URL. Okay. Anything else, guys? Anything? See, guys. Even if you have not researched a little bit, okay, just write. So I was not able to do that. I was not able to get the time. I'm able to understand that, guys. Don't worry. See, it's not as if you have not done the assignment. You can attend my classes. Okay, it's just for those students who are able to get some time. Are they able to learn a little bit more about stuff? What is it? Maybe somebody searched about SSH. So what is SSH or something like that? Were you able to understand that? Okay, it's just to increase your knowledge beyond the boot camps as well. Like, that is the main ideology behind giving you guys a small assignment. It's not as if I want you guys to do something, right? So token authentication and HTTPS to SSH. Okay, great. That's also awesome. No, I didn't got time. No issues in that. Again, like I said, it's fine. Just whenever you get time, just research a little bit more about it. Okay, that will help you in a later stage of time as well. Okay, so for example, these tokens, what are these tokens? Access keys, you will get to know about them. Messages. Okay, so now there's one good news and there's one bad news. What do you want to hear first? Do you want to hear the good news or do you want to hear the bad news? What do you want to hear first, guys? Would you like to hear the good news first or would you like to hear the bad news first? Okay, I got four votes for bad news, five votes for bad news. Okay, so let's start with the bad news first. The bad news is that Repellent officially from April 2023 has stopped linking to GitHub. That is the real problem that we were facing, because of which we were not able to connect our local repository to the online repository. So from April 2023, Repelhit has stopped linking the local repositories to GitHub due to a security reason. Now that's a very big deal, and because of that, we will not be able to link our local repository to the GitHub account itself. But nevertheless, the good news is very simple. That was the last step, and I'll explain it to you guys that what happens when you run such type of code inside of your local computer. What are the major things that you would have to do right over there? So I have already made a small demo for you guys as well, wherein I had previously used Repellent to launch and connect my particular local repository to the online repository, so you don't have to worry about that. So that is the bad news, that GitHub has officially, sorry, Revelit has officially stopped linking to GitHub. That is the reason why we will not be able to link our Revelit account with GitHub. Now, nevertheless, I will still be explaining you guys the steps that you would have to take if you want to link it up from a local repository from your normal computer as well. So you don't have to worry about that. Okay. So shall we start the today's class, guys? Please let me know. Shall we start with our today's class, guys? Please let me know. Shall we start with our today's class, guys? Please let me know. Yes. Okay. So let me just share my screen first of all. Give me a second. Okay, present, share screen, entire screen, share, layout, done. And I will open up the GitHub account as well right over here. Okay, so right over here, the major problem that we were facing yesterday was when we were trying to push the to the origin itself, we were not able to do that. The reason for that is that Repelhit has stopped linking to GitHub due to security reasons. Even I came to know about it today itself. Because before the class, I was also trying that everything works properly or not. I came to know before the class itself. I just wanted you guys to know. But nevertheless, I'll explain it to you guys how to link your repository to an online repository itself. No issues in that. So when in normal conditions, if everything was working fine, or you guys were using the bash. So like I said, in the initial time, I told you guys that if you want to get DOW and LOD download, if you want to work locally itself, you will have to install Git locally inside of your computer. I showed you guys this page, right? That once you download this and you use it, it will work exactly what it was working in Repelhit, and you will be able to do everything from right over there. So in the scenario that, let's assume that we were working locally. Okay, let's assume that we were working locally right over there. In that particular scenario, when we reach to this particular step, let me just open up Repelhit right over here. Okay, this is the Repelhit account. CD project. When we reach to that particular step, guys, in which we basically try to push things up, if you are doing this on your normal computer instead of using Repelhit, it will ask you for your credentials first. Okay, whatever account that you are trying to push to. Now that account should be yours. Okay, you cannot push to a account that is not yours, guys. Please let me know. Are you guys able to understand this? If I'm trying to push to, let's assume, Rahul's account, that is not going to work. That is not going to work, guys. I can only push to my account. So when I'm pushing this up, guys, it will ask me that it will ask me for my credentials right over there. It will ask me for my user ID and my password. Once I fill that up, it will also be asking me for a access token, guys. It will also be asking me for an access token. Now, this access token actually looks something like this. I cannot show you guys my token, okay, because that is a private key. You shouldn't be exposing that. I'll be letting you guys know how to create the access token, guys. Once you enter into GitHub, just when you log into your GitHub account itself, just click on your profile picture right over there on the top right corner. That's a profile picture. It will open up all these different things right over here, guys. Okay, just select settings from right over there. Okay, just select. So just click on your profile picture. Go to settings from right over there, guys. Go to settings from right over there. From settings, you should select when you come down below, developer settings, guys. Just go to developer settings from right over there. Inside of developer settings, you will have all these options: Git apps, then you are having your OAuth apps, and the personal access token. Okay, just click on personal access token. Click on tokens classic. Okay, and from right over there, generate a new token. Okay, click on generate a new token, guys, and then generate new token classic. Just click on that. It will create a one-time access key for you guys. Okay, when you click on that, it will ask you a lot of different things. So what is this token for? So just write that connecting to local GitHub account, personal laptop or something like that. Just write why are you creating this access token. Select everything from right over here. Okay, just select repo, workflow, the write packages, delete packages, admin, or everything. Select everything from right over there and click on generate token. This will generate a one-time token for you guys, which will have, like, you can select how much like how much time you want it to work. Okay, so here the expiration days is 30 days. You can select for no expiration as well if you're doing it in your local laptop. Okay, that is up to you guys. So however you guys feel to do it, then paste your particular access token inside of your terminal, or a pop-up will be coming up of GitHub, inside of which you will be asking you to get your personal token, guys, and that's it. It's as simple as that. Okay, are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know. Rahul's vlogs, all the certificates for the last bootcamp except one have already been sent. Okay, I'm very sure of that. Please check your spam email. Sometimes what happens is when we send the certificates, the email lands into the spam email, and that is the reason why you are not able to see the certificates. If you're still facing some problems with the certificates, just write an email along with your attendance proof to certificate@devtown.in. We will be able to help you out with that. Okay, the certificates for all the previous boot camps have already been sent. Okay, so once you press git push you origin main, it will ask you for your credentials, that is a user ID and password. After that, it will ask you for your access token. I've just told you how to generate your access token, guys. Paste it right over there, authenticate from there, and then you can push. Once you push your particular local repository right over there, you will be able to see it right here. So let me just show it to you guys. So this is one of the particular things that I have created previously. Okay, as you're able to see right over here. So this was created almost 6 months ago. This has been pushed from a local repository itself. Okay, so if you are able to see, you will be able to see all the commits and everything. Initial commit, modified index.ps, added diff.py, added new features, divide, merge, branch, def, everything. And what have you done in that? It will show you guys that as well. So all these things that you did right over there, it is showing you in a visual format. All your commits, all your things, it is showing you in a visual format itself. Okay, are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know. Are you guys able to understand this, guys? Please let me know. This is basically a visual representation of what you were doing inside of Git, and anybody can see this. Even you guys can access the particular repository. You guys can see the code from right over here in every single file. What is the code? What is the history? What are the changes? What are the comments that were there inside of that a particular file itself? So this file was modified into 2 commits itself. You will be able to see that. Okay, the commit details you will be able to see right over here. Everything is visible right over here itself. As simple as that, guys. So once you push, it will ask you for your user ID and password. It will ask you for a particular access token. I've already showed you guys how to generate the access token that you guys can use right over there as well. Once you get into your account, once you push the entire changes, it will appear inside of the GitHub repository just like this. Are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know. Using Git, can someone copy our code? 100% if you're putting it on Git and it's a public particular repository itself. Anybody can access your code. I can just go to my own profile. So I have 2 profiles right over there. Let me find out the other profile of mine. So SJ, you are Shaurya BIT2K18. I think so. That was my profile, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, no, that was not my profile. Let me search for DevTown. Mm, repositories. So these are all the people who have pushed their own particular projects on from the DevTown bootcamps itself. Let me try to find. Okay, let me just do a Google search. DevTown India GitHub. Okay. So this is basically the DevTown's profile of GitHub itself, as you're able to see right over here. And what I'm not logged in as DevTown, guys. I'm not logged in as DevTown. I'm logged in as Shaurasana itself. But whatever public repositories that DevTown has, I will be able to see it from right over here. popular repository. So this is a very popular repository of ours, Python and machine learning, as you're able to see right over here. It has somewhere around 32 people are watching it, 538 stars are there, 684 folks are there right over there. So all these things are currently there. Anybody can visit this code, anybody can see this code, anybody can use this code as well, because it is publicly available. Okay, are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know. So as you're able to see all the code and everything that was there inside of the DevTown's account, I'm able to see that I can use this, I can do whatever I want to do right over here. Are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know. Anush Srivastava, like the message I already mentioned, it is going to take us 2 to 3 days to send all the things. So please focus upon the messages and read it properly, right? Will this not be considered as cheating? So, if you consider it as cheating, that means that you are cheating. Absolutely, you are cheating at the end of the day. But programmers don't tend to see it like that, because usually a particular solution that I want to build will not be available on GitHub. I will have to build it from scratch. Yes, I can take up inspirations. Yes, I can take up help from GitHub. I can find solutions that are similar to that, but I cannot actually copy it. Now, in GitHub as well, there are certain limitations. There's something called as licenses. Most of the code on GitHub is under the MIT license, that is free to use for education, free to use for learning. But if you are trying to earn money from that, a particular person, the owner of the code, can actually sue you for a lot of amount of money, and can take you to court as well. So you have to be very careful about how you're using these type of codes. Okay, for understanding it, for using it for your own personal understanding, your for personal learning, it's totally fine. But using it directly for building something that is going to earn you money, a particular person can sue you as well. So you have to be very careful. Git is a very amazing functionality, and GitHub is an amazing particular place to learn a lot of different things as well. GitHub actually has a lot of different repositories dedicated to just learning topics. So if I just search for Docker, so the current topic that we are going to learn right now, let's go to GitHub. Let's go to GitHub right over here and let's search for Docker. Uh, so Docker. So this is the official Docker particular code that is there on GitHub, available by the company itself. So as you're able to see right over here, everything is visible right over here. You can go through their code, you can understand the code as well. Everything that, so git ignore files. I think so. We have already learned about the git ignore files. Can you guys remember what is the git ignore? Do you guys remember what is git ignore, guys? I think so. Yesterday I had explained it to you guys what is git ignore, right? So all these things are available for you guys to learn, to grow from right over there. There are amazing repositories which will help you with learning as well. So let us try to explore something that is taught by most stars. Let's go with most stars itself. Let's search for learn DevOps. I think so that will get us somewhere. Okay, learn Docker, Learn Docker. Okay, so there's somebody has created this right over here. Let's see if okay, this is in some other language that is not going to help me out a lot. Okay, DevOps masterclass. Let's see this. This is a course and it has its resources available right over here. So, but yeah, in general, there will be a lot of different places. For example, at DevTown as well, we have our own particular repository for learning Python. So we have put up all the resources related to learning Python right over there. Let me show it to you guys. So, for example, this is an entire resource dedicated for just learning Python at the end of the day, explain and everything from each and every topic properly laid out so that students are able to learn. So you can find some resources like this available on GitHub somewhere. So this basically explains the entirety of Python, from control flow to functions to NumPy, pandas, matplotlib, cborn, and many other things as well. So these type of resources are also available. Many books are also available on GitHub. So if you actually search for any kind of book, let's assume Python A to Z, or automating boring stuff with Python, one of the best books on Python itself, and just write GitHub at the end of it, you will find somebody who has put up the entire PDF on GitHub. So it's an amazing place to learn, collaborate, and grow from as well. This also starts up your very first journey into open source development. Does anybody know what is open source development, guys? Please let me know. Has anybody has any idea what is open source development, guys? Google Summer of Code. Anybody has heard about that? Or like, is it just like I don't have any idea about all these things? Okay, so open source contributions are also counted a lot when you're going further for interviews. Okay, basically it means that you are having some organizations, okay, which have made their projects open sourced, and as a beginner not knowing anything about programming, you can actually go to these particular like repositories and actually contribute code right there. It will be just like you working in a very big company, but with no supervision. So you will have to learn everything on your own. You will have to contribute everything on your own. You can actually network a lot right over there, meet new people, and get introduced to a lot of different opportunities as well. So one of my first freelancing gigs that I got it from open source contributions itself. I was actually working on a particular platform. So I was working for a particular organization as an open source developer, and you don't get paid. Okay, as an open source developer, you are basically contributing to a community itself. Now, if they like your work, if they like your work ethics itself, they might give you an opportunity for freelancing for them, or a job opportunity, or an internship as well. On the basis of this, a very big foundation is run called as Google Summer of Code. I think so. Most of you guys should know about it. If you don't know, I think so. This is high time right now. You should definitely know about it. So Google Summer of Code, what Google has done is it has brought many open source companies together, which includes Linux, which includes Google, which includes TensorFlow, which includes many other organizations as well. In which, if you are able to get shortlisted for the same, they provide you with, I think so, somewhere around 80,000 rupees to 1.2 lakh rupees a month as a stipend for 3 to 6 months. That is your internship duration itself, in which you work as an open source developer with that particular organization. So as a full blown internship, the stipend is also very good, 80,000 to 1.2 lakhs in India. So every particular country it's different. In some countries it is above 2.4 lakh rupees per month as well for the exact same work. So it depends upon the price parity paradox, PPP. Basically, like in US, you need a lot more money to live rather than in India. So depending upon that, but different countries have different requirements right over there. Some countries you get paid about 2.5 lakhs. In India, it is basically 80,000 to 1.2 lakh rupees per month for 3 to 6 months, depending upon how your work is going on. So it's an amazing opportunity if you guys are looking forward for internships or something like that. GSOC is really exceptional. At DevTown as well, we have more than 4 instructors who are 2 times, 3 times GSOC participants. That's basically they are mentors as well as participants in GSOC. They have cracked GSOC for at least 2 to 3 times. Maybe someday I'll call them up for a class and I will ask them to explain it to you guys how to prepare for GSOC. Because preparing for GSOC is also a task on its own. It's what language should I know for GSOC? So no matter if you learn one language or 10 languages, it does not matter. GSOC is a pretty competitive place. Okay, um, just learning a language is not going to help you out. You have to have a very thorough planning. Which company are you going to aim for? What are the projects that they are currently working on? You should at least spend at least 4 to 6 months before GSOC starts contributing to that particular company, understanding its code base, solving some of the bugs, solving some of the issues for them so that you are noticed by the company. Then once GSOC starts, you should increase that particular thing that you're doing for that particular company so that you have shortlisted for yourself. And if you are lucky enough, you will get shortlisted based upon your credibility itself with the company. And so it's a very long process. It's not going to take up like, okay, GSOC started, I'm going to apply and I'm going to get selected. That does not work like that. You have to spend somewhere around 10 months total to get into GSOC. But it does not take a lot of time, guys. It is not as if you have to spend like every day 4 hours, 6 hours to get into it. Just 1 hour as well of dedicated approach towards GSOC preparation is actually more than sufficient for you guys, and you will easily be shortlisted. And because the internship is directly with Google, it carries a lot of weightage as well. So there's a saying that a GSOC, okay, a Google Summer of Code, okay, not something else. There are a lot of different parodies of GSOC that has come up very recently. But original Google Summer of Code, if somebody qualifies for that, it is guaranteed that he will get a package of about 14 lakhs per annum. So that is the basic, like when we were in college, even right now as well, when I tell my students that, see, the point is, no matter which particular college you are from, no matter what you're pursuing, if you are able to get into GSOC, it's guaranteed that your package will be above 14 lakhs per annum. That is basically a universal standpoint that I've seen up to this point of time. That's really great as well for a particular fresher in college, being in first year and being able to get internships and then good paid internships as well. So definitely do prepare for that. Right now, all the instructors are actually very busy with all their work at DevTown right now. I'm the only one available. But nevertheless, I will definitely call them up once in the next month or so. You guys can interact with them. You guys can learn from them. I'll definitely put up a video on how to prepare for GSOC, so you don't have to worry about that as well. Okay. So now that is over, shall we start with learning about DevOps? That is Docker. Sorry, not DevOps. Docker. Again and again, I'm confusing both the words. That is my mistake. Shall we start with learning about Docker, guys? Please let me know. Shall we start with learning about Docker? Please let me know, guys. Can we clone the entire website by taking the to see what he has written right over there? The help of GitHub. Not really, because most of the companies don't actually put their entire code base on GitHub publicly available, only some parts of it. But yes, if you're learning the web development process quite well and you're able to understand all the intricacies and how to integrate technologies together, coding a website is not that, cloning a website is not that big of a deal. You can definitely do that. And that is also considered one of the best projects that you can work upon as well. So let's start with our today's class, guys, on Docker. Okay. So how many of you guys know about VMware or virtual machines? Anybody who has any idea about virtual machines, guys? Anybody who has any idea on virtual machines, guys? Please let me know. Anything that you have heard about as well, it's totally fine. Even if it is not right, it's fine. Okay, we are here to learn. We are not here to debate. Okay, you need to understand that. Even if you're wrong, it's always important to share your knowledge. Okay, so anybody who has any idea about what is VM or virtual machines, guys? So virtualization and the operating system within our system itself. Okay, good. Emulators, great, very good example. Virtually use a computer on our device, great, amazing. Okay, many of you guys might have studied about the virtual machines in your colleges. If you are studying CSE, there might be a particular topic as virtual machines in your college. But nevertheless, we'll start from the basics itself. Okay, so I told you guys something about servers. Do you guys remember that? I told you guys something about servers. Do you guys remember that? What are servers, guys? Do you guys remember that? What are servers? Do you guys remember that, guys? Please let me know. What are servers, guys? I told you guys about it in the first class, I guess. What are servers? Can you guys remember it? Let me know, guys. Let me know. Let me know. What do you remember? What are servers, guys? What are servers? Basically, a computer. Exactly. So servers are made, then are computers whose sole purpose is to run applications inside of it. So backend. It can be any application, but for our purposes, for our examples, we are thinking about backend code. It runs the backend code on top of it. Now, a server is a normal computer, right? Now, it is running a particular backend code inside of it. This is the backend code. Now, this server can serve the backend, to, let's assume, 1,000 people. Okay, it can serve the backend code to 1,000 people itself. Now let's assume on our website 2,000 people came on our website, guys. 2,000 people came on our website. So what is the right thing to do? If we want to serve, one server can cater to 1,000 people itself. What we will be doing to serve 2,000 people, guys? We'll have to get one more server, right? We'll have to get one more server itself, and that server will again be like catering to 1,000 people. So in total, we will be able to cater to 2,000 people. Now, this is very early, guys. This is very, like, I think so. This is 1990s. Okay, when internet came into existence, this is the time about that time. Okay, 1990s. Okay, at that point in time, what used to happen was that one application can be run within just one particular computer itself. We don't have any other option. If we want to cater to 2,000 people, we'll have to get one more server, put down our application right over there, and then we can cater to 2,000 people. It was very fucking costly. We don't want to do that. Then came the concept of virtual machines. Virtual machines said that, why do you want to do that? Let's assume you are having a particular computer, you're having a server. Let's divide the resources of that server into three or four separate parts. Let's divide the server into three or four separate parts, guys. Each part will have its very own RAM, very own storage, very own CPU, very own GPU, and this division is happening virtually. This division is not happening physically. It's not as if I'm taking in a particular like I'm taking in a particular computer. This is the CPU of the computer itself, and I'm doing like this. Okay, two or different things I've built it up. No, this is not happening like that. This is a virtual using software. Okay, I shouldn't have done that. Now the Deadpool is beheaded. I can fix it up, I guess. Okay, so this is happening virtually. Virtually using a software, we are basically saying that, okay, this particular part is belonging to the first machine. This particular part is belonging to the second machine. What is GPU? GPU is basically graphical processing unit. Your RTX 5030, but that is basically your used for gaming. Okay, used for graphics, used for editing. So that GPU is required right in there. So this is basically virtually. That is the reason why it is called as a virtual machine. You are using software to divide the resources available within your server or your computer into multiple parts. So you're having RAM, storage, CPU, GPU. Again, you're having RAM, storage, CPU, GPU, and so on and so forth. Now, inside of this, we are saying that, okay, now virtually using software, we have divided the computer into four separate parts. Now, each particular part will have its own OS or operating system. For example, Mac OS, Windows OS, Linux OS, Ubuntu OS. Okay, all these different OS are there. Operating systems are there. Android is an operating system, right? So virtually we have, it's the same computer. It's not as if we have taken up a sword and divided the computer into four separate parts. It's the same computer right now. Using software, we allocated the resources into four separate parts. If we have 32 gigs of RAM, okay, so 8 gigs is for the first particular computer, 8 gigs is for second computer, 8 gigs for the third, 8 gigs for the fourth. As simple as that, guys. As simple as that. For those who don't know what is GPU, please search the internet. Okay, everybody should know what is a GPU. It's a basic, like it is taught in second, third standard in your computer classes. Like what is a CPU, what is a GPU, what is a mouse, what is the keyboard. It's basically like that. Okay, so now that we have done this, every single virtual machine will have its very own operating system. OS, 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 OS. Right now, we are using a Windows OS, guys. As you're able to see right over here, we are using a Windows OS. Okay, this is a Windows OS. When you are using a MacBook, you are having a Mac OS right over there. And then you are having your application running on top of it. So that is your app. That is your serving app itself. Instead of having four particular servers, now you are having one server that is able to allocate 1,000 people. Like it is able to reach out to 1,000 people simultaneously, increasing the number of people that you are able to reach through the exact same machine. But the problem, so most of you guys haven't created a virtual machine ever. So let me tell you guys this. There are multiple ways of doing it. For example, some of you guys might have heard about dual booting. Have you guys heard about dual booting, guys? Please let me know. What is Django? So for those who don't know Django, this is not a boot camp for Django. Okay. So be patient. Focus on what you're learning right now rather than a random ass doubt that has came to your mind right now. Django is related to a backend development framework using Python. If you're learning Django for web development, then you are actually wasting your time. You should be learning Node.js, Express.js, MongoDB for backend development. If you want to get into backend development, if you are interested in data science, artificial intelligence, and for that you are learning web development, then Django is preferable right with it. Otherwise, again, this is out of topic, guys. Please stay on the topic, learn right over here. Okay, so what was I saying? I got distracted right over there. Okay, so dual booting. Okay, basically some of the people in your colleges, okay, some amazing people in your colleges who prefer to use Linux rather than Windows, what they will do is they will divide the computer again virtually into two separate parts in which some of the resources allocated from their computer will be just for the Linux operating system. So when they enter into the computer, they have two options. They can use Windows or they can use Linux as well. They don't have to just stick with Windows or just stick with Linux. Okay, that is what they do right with it. Now that is a very interesting concept, and I think somebody from your college will be doing that who is very good at computers itself, or who thinks he's very good at computers. There are two type of people right over there as well. Okay, so in that, anything that you're doing in the Windows operating system will not know what is happening in the Linux operating system. Are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know. Anything that is happening within the Windows operating system, you're creating a file, you're creating a folder. The Linux operating system is not going to know anything about that. Why? Because virtually using software, you have divided the resources right over there. So the file or the folder being created in Windows is actually utilizing the resources for the Windows OS itself. It cannot use the resources from the Linux OS. It cannot even see what is happening in the Linux OS itself. That's what I'm trying to make you guys understand. But due to this, there is actually a lot of wastage of resources happening right over there. This is not a very efficient thing. Okay, it is not a very efficient thing. For example, let's assume that I'll give you guys an example so that you are able to understand this. What is happening right over here is, let's assume I am living in India. Okay, and let's assume Sumod is living in SUMOD. Sumod is living in USA. Okay, I am living in India. So now Sumod has asked me that I want a PS4. Okay, I just want a PS5. Okay, PlayStation 5, the latest PlayStation 5. Sumod has asked for that. She has sent me a request for a PlayStation 5 guide. PlayStation 5. Now what will I do? Will I ship just the PS5 to him, or will I ship the my entire house to him, guys, which contains the PS5 inside of it? What would I do? Please let me know. What would I do, guys? Will I ship just the PS5, what he requires, to Sumod, or will I ship the entire home to Sumod itself? That this is my home, it contains the PS5 inside of it. You don't have to worry about that. Just take the entire home. Now, Sumod has no requirement of my home, right? Sumod has no requirement of the kitchen. Sumod has no requirement of the table. Sumod has no requirement of the lighting. Sumod has no requirement of the green screen. Nothing. He just wanted a particular PS5, and I've shipped him everything along with that. Now, what does this indicate? A lot of wastage. Wastage with space. That this home is going to take a lot more space than that just PS5. Wastage with money, wastage with allocation of resources. Everything is being wasted right over there because of sending a big ass home to Sumo, right? That is what happens when you're using VMware as well. So, for example, my app, I'm having an app that I want to develop. That app requires just 5 things. Okay, it requires Python, it requires Git, it requires, let's assume, Django. So those who don't know, Django is basically a backend framework used to build backend using Python. It requires NumPy. It requires, let's assume, TensorFlow. These are the only 5 things that my app requires. But because I'm using a VM, because I'm using a virtual machine, this is getting shipped with an entire OS, an entire big ass operating system. If you don't know, operating systems takes up like 65 or 100 GB of storage to just store the entirety of the OS. That includes your home button, that includes the Google Chrome extension, that includes the file system, that includes the particular Figma app, the Discord app, everything that you're able to see in a normal OS, everything I'm shipping with that. Does my app require that, guys? Please let me know. Does my app require the web browser? No, it does not require that. Does my app require the Notion? No, it does not require that. Does my app require YouTube? No, it does not require that. Does my app require a GUI? No, it does not require it. It does not require anything out of the entire OS. So when you are using a virtual machine, the biggest problem was wastage of resources, because OS itself takes up a lot of space. It is basically that I'm asking, Sumod is asking for a PS5 for me, and I'm shipping the entire house. That okay, this house contains the PS5. Now that OS contains all these things as well. It's not as if all these things are not there. The OS still contains that, but it's like shipping the entire house. That okay, you ask for PS5, it is there inside of this particular like home, but I'm shipping you the entire thing. Whatever you need, it is there inside of it. Are you guys able to understand things? These virtually divided parts aren't interconnected. No, that is the reason why virtual machines live, right? It's a software-based division that, okay, the first 1,000 memory, it is for the first particular machine, the next 1,000 memory is for the second particular machine, and so on and so forth. Are you guys able to understand what is happening right over there? So that is where the concept of containers came into picture. That is where the concept of containers came into picture. Now, please remember this: in the early days, the containers were only like the secret organizations were using it, the secret that every organization was keeping to make their things go faster than everybody else. For example, Google was actually the first particular company that started using containers. But it did not become popular until I think so 2005 or 2010. The reason for that is that it was not publicly available. Normal developers didn't even knew that concept like containers actually happened. If they went into that particular company, they saw it for the very first time. Oh, great! You guys are using this new technology. Why is this there? So let's try to understand. A container basically said that okay, my app basically requires Python. It requires Django, Django. It requires your particular NumPy, Pandas, and TensorFlow. So Git. Let's assume Git as well. Okay, let's assume Git as well. So it basically says that I will just contain this, all the things that it requires inside of a container, and I will just ship this particular container to my user. I'm just going to ship this particular container to my user. I'm not going to add an entire fucking OS right over there. Now, yes, there is a small layer of OS present right over here as well, but that is just enough. That OS is just enough to support all these things. Nothing more. It does not have any kind of GUI inside of it. It does not have any kind of shitty ass browsers or shitty ass YouTube accounts or something. Nothing. It's a bare minimum, bare shell OS that is very small. It is like 60 MBs, 50 MBs, okay, megabytes, not even GBs. The largest is like 300 MB. That is how big this OS is. Very, very small. Just enough so that all these things can live inside of it. That's it. Basically, it's like you are shipping bananas from India to US. You're not going to just wrap it inside of a plastic and ship it. You require a little bit of refrigeration. You don't require the entire house. Again, guys, again, let's take up this example right over here. So, Sumod, living in USA, and me, living in India. Sumod likes khichdi. Okay, there's a particular dish inside of India called as khichdi. I don't know what is the spelling of khichdi. K-I-H. Okay, can somebody let me know what is the spelling of khichdi? K-I-H-D-I. No, that is just wrong, I guess. K-H-I-C-H-D-I. Okay, shit, I was very far away. K-H-I-C-H-D-I. Okay, khichdi. So Sumod loves khichdi. It is not available in US. He called me up. He said that okay, send me a khichdi. So what can I do? One thing that I can do is I can just ship just the khichdi to him. Just the khichdi. It is going to take him 30 days to reach the khichdi. In 30 days, that khichdi will become all bacteria and nothing else. Am I right? If I'm just sending him khichdi, that khichdi won't reach US properly, right? It will all be dirty. Maybe some of it will be spoiled as well, right? It is not going to work for me. The second option is I will ship my entire house. I'll ship my entire house with a particular refrigerator inside of which there is this khichdi. Inside of which there is this khichdi. Again, that is a very big thing. You shouldn't do that. You're shipping the entire house with a refrigerator inside of which there is the khichdi. No, that is also a very bad idea. So what you do, just create a container that is refrigerated. You create a container, a vacuum sealed container that is also refrigerated, that is frozen. and inside of which you store your khichdi right over there. Inside of which you store your khichdi right over there. So now the khichdi is having that environment in which it can survive for a very long period of time. That khichdi has an environment, it is refrigerated, it is in a vacuum sealed compartment itself. So it is going to survive for a very long period of time. It does not require anything else. It does not require anything else. And now you can ship this particular container to US. In the exact same way, containers also work. Okay, containers basically what they say is that you don't need everything. You don't need all these bullshit things that are present inside of the OS. What you need right now is just a few things, and that few things is provided to you inside of that small OS. That small OS, and usually this OS is Linux based. Let me tell you guys that as well. Linux. Linux, that is usually a Linux based OS because it is very small and very lightweight. And inside of that, you are having all your things that you want to send. So Python and all these kind of crap. And then you containerize it, and that container is what is being shipped right over there. This container will also contain your apps, the files and folders that that app requires, and everything inside of it. Everything that your app needs to work will be present inside of the container itself. So you don't have to worry about anything. Now, a company came forward called as Docker, and Docker said that, okay, we are going to revolutionize this idea of containers. So Docker is again a company, guys. The technology behind it, just like GitHub is a company, and the concept behind it is Git. The technology behind it is Git. In a similar manner, right over here as well, the company name is Docker, and the technology behind it is containerization, or just containers, whatever you would like to call it as. And what did Docker do is that it gathered a huge array of open source developers which started contributing to create this awesome container technology that was available to the public as well. Now, when the public came to know about this technology, when it was freely available to the people to use and to modify and to play around with, that is when the concept of Dockers and so now we don't call it as containers, we call it directly as Docker because that is our habit. Okay, that became very big. Everybody started using it, and now it has become indispensable for any of the companies. Every company is using Dockers, that is containers. Every company requires that, and a basic, solid, foundational knowledge about Docker is something that you guys should also have, and try to implement it in one or two projects of yours. That will be more than sufficient for you guys. Are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know. Are you able to understand this concept of containers, guys? Why are containers important? And this also solves the exact same problem that something is working on my computer, but when I'm sending it to you guys, it is not working on your computer. Please try to understand this, guys. This problem that was there initially, that I'm having something working on my computer, and when I send it to my friend's computer, it is not working right over there. It is not working right over there. So containers basically eliminate that entire concept. It is not dependent upon your computer's resources. It is not dependent upon your computer's operating system. It is a container. It is like a small particular world that has a human being inside of it, which has everything that that human requires to live. It is independent about whatever is happening outside that container. Please think about it in such a way. This human is nothing else but your app. Okay, this human is nothing else but just your app itself, guys. Now, it needs food, food is there. It needs water, water is there. It needs air, air is there. It needs entertainment, entertainment is there. Whatever that human needs to live inside of that container is already provided to him in immense like resources itself. So if you are working using a Docker container, if it is working in your computer, it will work the exact same way in every single computer on the planet Earth. It will work in the exact same way on every single computer on the planet Earth, guys. Are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know. Are you guys able to understand this, guys? Please let me know. Docker is the name of the company, okay, and containers is the name of the technology. But yeah, nowadays everybody uses interchangeably, so it's totally fine. You can directly say I'm learning Docker. You don't have to say I'm learning containerization. That just feels as a dumb idea to me as well. But still, yes, I wanted you guys to know about it. That okay, containerization is the technology, and Docker is basically the company that is providing it to us. Okay, for free. Okay, that is also very important right over there. Now, what we are going to do from tomorrow onwards is very simple. We are going to explore how to create Docker, okay, containers, Docker volume, Docker compose, Docker swarm, Docker hub, how to create our very own Docker files itself, how to make sure that every single time a container is created, it is of the exact same quality. Exact same things are there inside of it, no matter which particular computer you are using. So all these different things, we will be looking into it practically from tomorrow's class onwards. It is going to be a little bit hectic, guys, because Docker is a really, really big topic. Okay, it has a lot of different things inside of it. But yes, we'll try to make sure that we are able to understand each and every step of the way, guys. Okay, are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know. When you're going to start the bootcamp for cybersecurity, definitely we'll see to it that in the future we have a bootcamp in cybersecurity as well. So no issues in that. Okay, guys. So tomorrow onwards, guys, please make sure that you're coming up with your notebook and pen once again, because Docker is something that is going to take a little bit of time for us to understand. It is not very simple. It is a little bit more complicated than Git. But I will try to make sure that everything is everything I'm able to explain it to you guys line by line. Okay. And you guys are able to understand it. Please make a bootcamp on blockchain. It is so interesting. Please don't learn blockchain. Okay. If you're learning blockchain for just like, okay, I'm learning blockchain for just understanding it, it's fine. But from a career standpoint, please do not learn blockchain. It's a whole wastage of time. Web 3.0 blockchain, do not learn that. No company has funding right now in that particular arena. No company is hiring in that particular arena as well right now. There are almost no jobs available. So I always suggest students to learn something that is going to help you end up with internships or jobs. Okay. Okay. Great. Awesome. Okay, guys. So definitely to come to tomorrow's class on time. I'll give you guys the attendance for today's class right now. Give me a second or two. This is not to demotivate somebody or anything like that. I'm just stating facts because I don't want people to be wasting their time. Now, if you have learned everything for your internships and for your job roles, and you have already got some jobs that are already lined up for you, then that's really great. Then you can definitely start learning all these things. But for right now, I'll definitely suggest you guys not to learn something like blockchain right now. It does not make a lot of sense for me. Will make a bootcamp on React.js? Absolutely yes. After the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript bootcamp that is lined up on 15th, on 25th or 26th, we'll have a 5 days React.js bootcamp as well. JavaScript as well as React.js bootcamp. Because it's near the new year, so 26, 27, 28, 29. That will be 4 days of React.js bootcamp that we'll be organizing right over there before the new year starts, so that you guys are also able to invest some time into learning JavaScript and React.js. After New Year, we will be organizing a boot camp on backend web development with Node.js, Express, and MongoDB, or a Python and machine learning boot camp. So I haven't decided for that right now. JavaScript and React.js is decided. HTML, CSS, JavaScript is decided right now. Instagram Glue. For the after New Year, whether it will be Python and machine learning or backend web development, I'm not very sure of it. I've still not decided it, but when the time comes, I definitely will see what to take up further. Okay, okay, guys. So let me provide you guys the attendance link for today's class. The attendance link will be closed exactly at 9:14. So please start filling up your attendance right now. Okay, at exactly 9:14, the attendance link will be closed. Please start filling up the attendance right now. Can we see live classes whenever we want? Yes, you can, but then you will not be able to get the certificates. If you want the certificates, then you will have to come to the class on time every time. Okay, but nevertheless, keep on learning, keep on growing. That is the aim of these boot camps as well. The certificates are just an additional perk for you guys. That is just to make sure that you guys feel rewarded for what you have learned. Because I've seen this with many of the students, when they get rewarded, when they get recognized, their intensity of learning actually increases. And that's the aim of the certificates as well. Okay. So the attendance link has been provided to you guys in the live chat. Please start filling up your attendance right now. Please explain microservices. So microservices is actually a very interesting implementation of Docker and Kubernetes. Inside of which it basically says that there's monolithic architecture of backend and microservice architecture of backend. Now let's assume that there is one particular arena of your backend code that handles the login, logout of a particular user, authentication of a particular user. Then you are having a particular API that is handling up your endpoints for people visiting and liking your post and all that. Now, in on Instagram as well, everybody is not continuously logging in or logging out from your account, right? Sometimes the people watching posts will increase, sometimes people watching the reels will increase drastically itself. Whereas then you will have to scale that. You will have to scale that continuously, so that okay, one server, two server, three server, 100 servers right over there, because people want to see that particular aspect of your application. But still only 100 people are logging in right now. Even 10,000 people are seeing your particular reels and everything, so using that API, but logging in, logging out, the authentication is happening for just 100 people. So when you're scaling up a very big monolithic application, you're scaling up the entire backend. So when you're scaling it up 1,000 times, your that API for logging in and logging out is also scaling up 1,000 times. Because, but that was not necessary. So the concept of microservices came into being. That okay, we'll create one particular microservice, just a small backend, just handling our logging, logout, nothing else, and we'll close that up into one particular microservice itself. One particular microservice will create just for seeing posts and reels. Now, if our particular login logout starts increasing, then only that particular microservice will be scaled. If our particular like people watching reels, people watching posts starts increasing, only that particular microservice will be scaled. We don't have to scale the entire backend altogether, because again, the backend is very big, so it requires a lot of storage, a lot of resources to run as well. So like scaling up a very big monolithic architecture will be very difficult for us. So again, that is a very advanced concept, but definitely a very good concept to look into when we teach our students inside of the training and internship program. When we teach our students about backend web development, we teach them about monolithic and microservice architecture. We actually help them implement the entire thing as well. That is definitely something that you should be looking into. I will definitely have a particular project on microservices. We are actually planning a lot, but it is going very slow for us because we are not able to get time because of the job and then the boot camps. I just get very tired after that. But nevertheless, we are definitely working on that. I've onboarded some of my friends to help me out with the same as well. We have started creating. We'll be starting to create some of the videos and projects and everything in a few days. So I hope so that you guys will be able to enjoy right over there as well. Okay, guys, so we'll end the boot camp right now. We'll meet in our tomorrow's class and we'll continue from right over there. Will that be fine, guys? We'll end our today's class. We'll meet in our tomorrow's class and we'll continue from right over there. Will that be fine, guys? Please let me know. Okay, thank you so much, guys. Thank you, guys. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye.